Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a Sacred Union Energy Update. It has been quite a week, hasn't it? Quite the past few weeks. First, thank you to everyone who joined me for the free message poll on Tuesday. We are going to have more of those going forward. I'm not sure when. There might be another one at the end of April. Make sure that you're staying tuned to the community posts, also to my Facebook and Instagram for all the updates. Additionally, we had to move the Ascension chat over to this coming Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was just not feeling good on Thursday, as you guys saw. Check out the Illusion of Time post on the community post, also on Facebook, Instagram, and my blog at susandonspiritual.com. I talked all about how we are breaking through the illusion of time, and so time might feel a little bit strange, a little bit heavy at times, a little bit confusing. I thought yesterday was Monday all day. The day before, time felt very heavy, like it was actually closing in or collapsing. So, very interesting energies coming forth, but we're doing a lot of collective transmuting around illusions, especially the illusion of time right now. So you might be feeling that, you might not. Go with the flow of whatever it is that you're feeling. It is very early here. I woke up because I wanted to do this when it is quiet, when it is calm in my household. So I thought, why not do the Sacred Union update today? So on Monday is going to be the Ascension chat, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I hope that you join us. I also want to give a shout out to a community member and subscriber to the channel here, a longtime subscriber, Melissa. Thank you so much for this beautiful deck and beautiful message that came with it. It says, your readings are like a healing balm to me on a daily basis. Your channelings are so pure and beautiful. I appreciate you so very much. I hope these cards bring you so much joy. This is taped to my wall. It's just so beautiful. I used this Divine Abundance deck as a pick-up pile over on my Instagram and Facebook. You guys can go check that out. But we're also going to be using it in today's reading to find out what's going on in this connection. So stay tuned for this later in this reading. Thank you so much, Melissa. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you guys who are part of this community. Especially longtime subscribers. You've been with me since the beginning. I appreciate everything. I really, really do. If you would like to help support the free collective readings on this channel, I took a look the other day and we have about 800 videos, which blows my mind and makes me a little bit, oh my god. But if you'd like to help support the free readings on this channel, also free readings on Instagram and Facebook, there is a whole section in the description box, energy exchanges, as well as an Amazon wish list. If you would like to help keep my readings fresh, including the daily energy draws. As you guys know, I use all of my decks on the dailies, or I pick from all of my decks on the dailies, so if you'd like to help keep the readings fresh, there is a full Amazon wish list there. This was not on my wish list. This was a beautiful, pleasant surprise. Beautiful, beautiful cards, so I can't wait to show you guys. Okay, let's get into it. I don't think I have any other announcements, so let's get into it. Yes, I do. There will be a limited stock of my Tarot in Translation tarot deck available on Monday. So Monday I'll have stock in. This is my Tarot in Translation tarot deck. I also have the pocket guide, this is my tarot deck, which is poker sized if you are just starting out with learning tarot. This is very useful because it goes through all of the major, minor arcana, the numbers, elements, planets, predominant symbols on the traditional deck that you might want to look out for, upright meanings and reverse meanings. So this pocket guide can be used as a flip book. Everything comes with a binder ring that you can put a hole punch in. This is a guide. This rose is a guide that you can put a hole punch in and use it as like a flip book, or you can use it as an actual card deck. So go ahead and check that out. It's available for pre-order on my Etsy shop. Both are. But the first limited stock will be available on Monday, so make sure that you are the first to get it. Okay, so let's find out what is going on with these counterparts. I'm going to use my Journey of the Heart message deck. Everything is back in stock in my Etsy shop. And let's see what is going on. All right, Spirit, what's going on between these counterparts? We also have a new moon coming up. And we'll find out in this reading what's going to be shifting with that new moon and what needs to be cleared, what needs to be manifested, things like that. We're just going to go with the reading as we're guided as usual. Okay, Spirit, tell me about the current energy for these counterparts. The current energy for these counterparts, this sacred union. We have the World. I thought I saw something else flip over. Maybe not. Okay. We have the World. You and your partner have been through a journey of heart transformation. Recognize how far you've come in this union of sacred love. You mean the world to each other. I love that. We have been talking about how this has been a transition, how we really have been transitioning out of the old way of doing things, even out of the old matrix, if we're talking about general ascension, and into the new rainbow grid, into the new fifth dimensional and higher consciousness, into the new way of doing love, experiencing love. You and your partner are going through this ascension. You and your partner are going through this transformation as well. And what's happening is the heart is activating on a higher level now. That was one of the messages in this past week's daily energy draws. It was a lot about ascension support, but some really powerful messages coming through. It was the most powerful readings I've done in a while. The energy very, very clear. So make sure that you're checking that out. What we had talked about in one of those dailies, and I can't remember which one, is that as you're shifting into higher consciousness, the heart is activating more and more. And it's the reverse as well. As your heart is activating more and more, you're shifting into higher consciousness. They showed me this like circle, how one affects the other. And so there are heart activations that are happening. And what that means is you are relieving yourself, releasing old beliefs around love, especially old beliefs around what it is to be part of the human experience, but from that soul nature. You're looking at things from a higher perspective, they're saying. And also surrendering. You're also surrendering to who you truly are, who your soul actually is longing for you to be without the egoic mind kind of holding you back, because the egoic mind is all about survival mechanisms, defense mechanisms, and fear. And so what's really happening here is transformation. We've been going through this transition from the old to the new, clearing out the debris of past karmic cycles. Now, some of that debris is still there, still kind of lingering, but it's untangling. What they had shown me was a ball of yarn, and what's happening, that's all the karmic energy. Remember, energy is just karma. And so what's happening is it's all untangling itself, by which I mean it's all realigning. So what's happening behind the scenes, so much is happening behind the scenes. This is why you might be called to rest more, which is why you might be feeling some heavy energy, which is why you might be a little bit more exhausted. You might be a little bit more fatigued. You might be motivated but kind of lacking the energy, or you might be energized but kind of lacking the motivation. It's because right now there is so much that's happening behind the scenes, realigning, because as you shift into higher consciousness, you're shifting into higher timelines. Now, we're going to do this teaching again for those who missed it. We talked about this a year or two ago. They had brought this teaching to me. And this point in time on the pyramid here is the present moment. And every present moment that you have is a culmination. You're brought to who you are from past experiences, past wisdom. This is past incarnations, past lifetimes, etc., 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 to the present moment. You are so much more than who you think you are. You are so much more than your identity. You're so much more than your egoic structure. You're so much more than your beliefs, your fears, your situations, your challenges. You're so much more. You are soul, the pure divinity within you. And remember, time is nonlinear. It's always moving. And so the past affects the future affects the past, but everything culminates in the present moment. And you call back all those pieces of yourself into the present moment. That's what's happening when you're being present. You're not focused on the past because in some ways the past has yet to be lived. And you're not focused on the future because, again, the future is always shifting. The past is always clearing. Let's put that another way. The past is always clearing in different ways. You can rewrite your Akashic records. You can rewrite the past. And you're always clearing future timelines. What they're bringing me is a metaphor like this. It's like when you experience trauma, if you keep perpetuating the same story, and I've been there, I did that with the Lyme disease. I kept perpetuating the same story that was part of my own healing. That was the greatest suffering I've ever known. But it helped me. I was using my story to help others, using my experience to help others, but I was keeping myself trapped in there. And it was only when I was launched on ascension, well, I started to do healing work prior to that, but it was only when I was really launched on ascension that I really began to live again, that I really began to clear out the trauma and be able to tell the story without being attached to the emotions of it, without being attached to the trauma of it. And that's how I rewrote my Akashic records. So it's not like nothing ever happened. You just rewrite the Akashic records so that it comes from a different place, so that the emotions, the trauma, the pain, the suffering is no longer attached to it. You're not carrying that into the present moment. That's how you rewrite the past. You're not rewriting the past as in this event or this challenge or this obstacle or this situation never happened. Events happen, but you remove yourself. This is different from detachment. This is different from numbing out. But you remove yourself from the trauma. You're not perpetuating the same story. You're not perpetuating the same cycle of emotions. You're not keeping yourself trapped in the same energy. That's what you're actually doing. You're clearing out the energy field. And so what happens in the present moment is you call back that piece of yourself. When you're very present, you're not trapped in the past karma or in the past energy of pain and suffering, etc. And you're not in the future. You're not in the future of worry and uncertainty and what's going to happen, because it hasn't happened yet. You bring yourself back to the present moment. That's really, really important on this journey, on any journey, but the journey of higher consciousness especially. And so what's happening is this is the present point of power. This is your present moment is your point of power, because from this present moment you get to choose how you want to live now and how you want to live in the future. And so what they brought to me was the present moment is a culmination of all the wisdom and all the experiences that you gained from the past being brought here. And you needed all of that in the past. You were a different person then. You were a different version then. Like Buddha says, every day we're born again. You are a different person. Higher consciousness version is what version of yourself is what I'm getting, what Spirit is bringing forth. They're saying you're a higher consciousness version because of the ascension. You're constantly rising higher and higher, and even if it feels like you're regressing, they want you to know that you're not. You're just clearing. That regression is just clearing. So that might be an important message for some. So you're at the present moment, your present point of power, and where you are in your higher consciousness dictates the future timelines. So if you're in a low vibrational consciousness, I'm asking them to pull it back. Yes, okay, said another way. If you are in a lower consciousness where you had been in the past, you manifest it, and that's not a judgment. We've all been at lower points of consciousness in the past. That's why we have compassion for everybody. Wherever they are on their own ascension, remember the collective, the global collective is going through ascension. We have compassion. There is no judgment. There is no superiority. There is no ego or spiritual ego. Everybody is exactly where they're meant to be on their journeys. Everyone. And I'm just going to mention here as well that you might not recognize that people are going through ascension because they're not consciously using terminology of those who are speaking about ascension. But that doesn't mean that they're not going through their own ascension process. So let's be very mindful and very compassionate towards others. There's been a lot of division within, especially the spiritual community, which is very disheartening. So let's be very mindful and very compassionate of everybody, because everybody plays their part. Everybody has a role, and everybody is going through ascension, even if it doesn't look it. Okay. So you were at a point of lower consciousness in the past. Even it could have been yesterday, because we're constantly shifting, we're constantly ascending, we're constantly changing. So even yesterday, that's what breakthroughs are for. That's what revelations are for. That's what shifts are for. We're constantly shifting in every given moment. So even yesterday, you were at a different point in consciousness. And that point in consciousness gave manifestations to different timeline streams. Now, in the past, in lower points of consciousness, you might have chosen lower density timeline streams or higher density timeline streams. Both were available to you. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. Both in the past, when you were in a lower consciousness and lower energy, lower vibration, future timeline streams were available to you of both higher consciousness and higher vibration and lower consciousness and lower vibration. They're showing me threads, so imagine threads going out into the future. But because of your ascension, because you're ascending into higher vibration and higher consciousness, the lower vibrational timelines, the lower consciousness timelines fade away, so that all that's available to you is higher consciousness, higher timelines, higher vibrational timelines. So that, what does that look like? That looks like faster manifestations. It looks like abundance. It looks like peace. It looks like joy. It looks like the ability to get through no matter what challenges you're faced because of faith, because of the peace within, because of your higher consciousness. So even if you are experiencing challenges, you're able to get through them, and they actually turn out in better possibilities, better outcomes, because you are choosing to be in the present moment in a higher state of consciousness about the situation. So this is where miracles happen, in the present moment. Miracles happen in the present moment. And a miracle is simply a shift in perspective, a shift in consciousness. So a miracle is, oh, I have a shift in consciousness in the present moment. I'm in higher consciousness. I'm in higher vibration about the situation. It's not just thinking positively, but it's that higher vibrational energy. You're transmuting in the present moment. That's what that is. You're transmuting anywhere where fear does crop up, because we are human and fear will crop up. Anywhere where that crops up, you're not holding on to it. You're transmuting that. And so what does that do? That creates timelines of miraculous possibilities. And it's not even a miracle. It's just you creating. But that's what a miracle is. It feels like a miracle because it's like, oh, I didn't think this was possible. But it's possible because you're creating it. It's possible because you're in that higher consciousness creating it. So, why am I talking about that? That's what you're doing together with you and your counterpart. You have been going through a remarkable transformation within yourselves on this ascension journey. And old cycles are ending. We're transitioning into the new. And the new is all about that rainbow grid. The new is all about the fifth dimensional consciousness and above. And it's not just fifth dimensional anymore. We have built that bridge into the sixth, into the seventh, into the higher. We can't go back now. We can't sink back into the lower consciousness. It's just not possible. Yes, sometimes we'll go through some dark nights or some challenging times, or we will experience periods like I experienced, a major purging. But purging is just release. Purging does not mean you're sinking back. You can't. It's like it's locked. It's like that layer is locked. That level is locked. You can't go back now. You can only ascend. Last week when I was going through my purging, even though I felt completely lost, even though I felt like I was clawing at the insides of myself, there was still a faith that I would get through it. I knew I would get through it. I knew I would see the other side of it. I knew that it was just a transformation. Even though my ego mind didn't like it, even though my ego was struggling to hold on, my soul knew better. My soul knew higher, and I was listening and trying to trust in what the soul was saying. That is higher consciousness. You can't sink lower. And so if you're going through that purge, know that that's anchored in there. That faith, that knowing, that's higher consciousness. And so you guys are both ascending. You guys are both going through this transformation where there's heart expansions, where there's higher consciousness coming in. And you're doing this together. You're doing this together. You guys are in lockstep now, side by side. The yin and the yang, an equal whole partnership. I don't like to say equal partners so much anymore. Because it's more like balanced partners. It's more like harmonious partners. It's more like that yin and yang energy where you're just locked into the whole of each other. Both of you in that wholeness of yourselves, coming into the wholeness of union. Okay. So let's use the Divine Abundance card and see what is each person really experiencing right now. What's the divine masculine and the divine feminine really experiencing right now? Whoa. Okay, what is the divine masculine really experiencing right now? What's the divine masculine really experiencing right now? Oh, these cards are slippery. All right, what is the divine masculine really experiencing right now? Allowing and flow. Beautiful. So we have the card allowing and flow, and I feel like this is divine masculine stepping into their feminine energy, or put another way, allowing their feminine energy to rise. Feminine energy is all about flow, all about embracing, all about allowing, all about non-control, going with the flow of energy. Now, the masculine energy is one that really takes authority, takes control, but not from a manipulative angle. They're not trying to control it as in control the outcomes. They're not trying to control it as in control other people. They recognize that the only thing that they can control is themselves and their own emotions. And with the balance of divine feminine, they are learning how to just go with the flow of that energy and take divine action as they're inspired to. That's really beautiful. We have radical acceptance says yes to reality in any given moment, so what's needed can come next. Allow me, divine, to move with the flow and respond with calmness and in peace. They are really learning how to set that ego mind that it was over analytical, it was holding them back, it was fear, it was overthinking. That egoic mind, that defense mechanism, survival mechanism, really learning how to anchor into the energy of flow, to the energy of faith, and that's what flow really is. It's faith. So they are, I'm also getting a message that they are learning to accept this about themselves, which is major, because in the past they had really been resisting this and fighting this, but they're really learning how to accept this about themselves. I'm also hearing they're learning how to accept that this is their new reality, that this is their new version of themselves, and they had been fighting that too because the old version of themselves, despite not entirely liking that, it felt comfortable to them. And the new, higher, divine version of themselves felt very foreign to them. I'm also hearing they didn't feel worthy of it. So this is really beautiful energy for the divine masculines, where they're really learning how to accept themselves, find themselves as worthy. Also, I'm hearing see themselves as divine, and they're allowing that. And as such, they're allowing their whole life to transform in a beautiful way because they are accepting, embracing, and allowing their feminine energy within them, which also means that they're accepting, believing in, allowing, and embracing their divine feminine counterpart, recognizing that the feminine energy within them is their feminine energy embodied. Just like for you, divine feminines, the feminine energy within you the masculine energy within you is your masculine energy embodied if you are in this sacred soul twin flame counterpart connection. You know, the labels don't matter. You know what this feels like. You know how this resonates for you. So really accepting themselves, really, accepting this transformation. And I like it. I like it. I like this new version of myself where I'm allowing myself to be happy, where I'm allowing myself to just go with the flow, where I'm not trying to control things. Because they realize that when they control things, I'm just getting this energy of tightening up. And that doesn't feel good to them anymore. They had lived so long in that energy. But what this ascension journey has taught them is peace and flow and just going, just taking divine action. They like taking divine action. They like that leadership energy. They like being that provider. They like being that supporter. They like being, and provider is an energy. It's not necessarily providing like materially. It's being able to protect the feminine, especially protect the feminine energy. Being able to provide for her in a myriad of ways. They like that leadership energy. They like that self-responsibility. They like that self-accountability because they're knowing themselves better. And as they do that, they're recognizing the safety within, the groundedness within, the rootedness in all things, the connectedness in all things within, especially to themselves. And they had been alienated from their soul self for so long. So what's happening is acceptance, radical acceptance. They are accepting themselves and they're liking it. They're finally liking and believing in what it is that they're feeling, allowing themselves to believe in what it is that they are feeling and opening up more and more to that sacred soul self. Beautiful, beautiful energy for the divine masculine. We'll get some more on that in a minute. So let's see what's going on for the Divine Feminines. What is the Divine Feminine experiencing in this current moment? We got 2. We got loss and divine love. Okay. What I'm getting from these 2 cards, beautiful, is Divine Feminine, you guys are actually really mirroring each other. And that came through when we did the message pool. I channeled a quick collective message. And you guys were really, really mirroring each other. Where you, Divine Feminine, might have been going through some tower moments, going through some purging. You were also releasing the past version of yourself. You're releasing the past version of yourself. You're releasing the past version of this connection. You're releasing sometimes even the past version of your life. And that creates change. And change for Divine Feminine can sometimes feel very, very difficult to experience for both, but especially for Divine Feminine, very difficult to experience. But what that's bringing in is even more love. What you're anchoring in is even more of the bringing forth the love codes. Give me a second. What I'm getting from Spirit is that for many of you, this is a remarkable transformation for the Divine Feminine. Throughout this journey, she's been releasing attachment, especially to her Divine Masculine, attachment to the journey, attachment to the labels, attachment to what she thought relationship and love was supposed to look like. That's what Ascension has been for a majority, for the most part, for Divine Feminines. It's been about releasing. And that's what this loss feels like. It doesn't feel so much like a loss. It feels like a release, which can feel like a loss. If you're still holding on, if you still have that attachment, it can feel like a loss. It can be very, very difficult. For these Divine Feminines, you are truly releasing the hold that the journey has had on you. And it's interesting because I just experienced this. I think this was last week with a friend and I. We were doing a healing session and we were releasing the journey as a whole. That doesn't mean that you release the love. It doesn't mean that you release who your Divine Masculine is. You don't release a connection. You don't release that love with your counterpart. That's always there. You release the attachment to it. You go with the flow of it. That's always there. The love is always there. The connection is always there. The bond is always there. But you're releasing the journey as a whole, clinging to the journey. I'm just hearing this like lifeline energy, that the journey was a lifeline for you because you've been through it for so long or on it for so long. And so both cycles, to bring you back to the world, both counterparts are going through endings of cycles. For Divine Feminine especially, she's releasing, okay, yes, thank you. Divine Masculine is releasing the journey of who they thought they were. That was all the ego, all the spiritual ego, all the identifying structures. Divine Masculine being very grounded in the physical plane. Divine Feminine has been releasing the journey as a whole. Releasing the attachment to the journey. Because she's ready to level up in her ascension, because she's ready to connect more to the ascension journey versus the counterpart journey. Now, you're doing this together, but you're releasing the old version. You're releasing the old template. It's like this. At this point in time, well, for many, at this point in time, you're moving away from the intensity of the connection, the triggers, the trauma, the karma that's coming up between you guys, all that baggage that you've been clearing and healing. When you look back at your journey, you recognize that it was fraught with so much of that intensity, the hot and the cold, the in and the out. That was because of both feminine and masculine energies that were doing the clearing work. You don't put the focus on your masculine. You focus on your own healing work and, okay, why is this in and out happening? Why is this hot and cold happening? What am I pushing away within myself? So that's one part of the journey. That's one part of ascension. we're now transitioning into the next. We're now transitioning into higher consciousness. We're now transitioning into more harmonious conscious relationships. We're now transitioning into a higher level of ascension, which is connecting to spirit, which is connecting to that divine love. And that divine love is not just with our masculine, although that is who we are in partnership with, but that divine love is in all living consciousness, connected. It's a thread that connects everything. It's a beautiful tapestry of life. This is what you're recognizing. You're recognizing that oneness. Yes, you're in partnership with your counterpart, but that is not the be-all, end-all. The be-all, end-all is recognizing that unifying field that connects us, the love that connects us, the unity consciousness that connects us. And unity consciousness is recognizing the thread of source that permeates all things, even the rocks, even the ground, everything being energy, everything having consciousness, everything being made in the vibration of love. That's what unity consciousness is. It's not being robots. It's not being, that's just, it's not everybody is the same. Everybody is a beautiful, unique expression of source energy. But it's that recognition of that expression of source energy. That's what unity consciousness is. Recognizing source in all living things and all living consciousness. That is unity. That is divine love. We're relieving ourselves of the past version of the way we thought about this journey, of the way we're going through ascension, of the way we had experienced love in the past, and we are ascending beyond in partnership with our counterpart. And I'm getting called to get a card for the union, for you and your divine masculine. Okay, what does this mean for divine feminine and divine masculine? Intuition, but it's the heart. It's the shared heart. That's what they're bringing me to. This is the image that they're bringing me to, the heart, the shared heart, the shared energy, the shared love. It's like looking through the lens of love through the same eye. And that's this partnership. That's this sacred love, this sacred partnership. It's the one soul, the one heart, the one, the one. That's what it is, the one. And so as you recognize that in each other and come together in this beautiful partnership as these sacred partners, your love just expands and expands and expands. And you feel the love of all living things, of all connection. This is not just on earth, but this is bigger than that. Once again, I'm going to refer you guys to the Cosmic Blueprint. I think that's what it calls, Birthing a New Age or something like that. We had channeled that 3 years ago. It's when these two partnerships or these two counterparts come together in their sacred love, recognizing the wholeness within, recognizing the love within for each other, which then expands. When you do this, when you recognize your oneness with your counterpart, it's like the love just blossoms and opens up because you're recognizing the oneness within yourself and you're recognizing the oneness with all living things. That's what this is, the one heart. Okay, this is something else. Okay, let's get some tarot. What is divine masculine experiencing at this time? Let's clarify, what is divine masculine experiencing at this time? No, let's get, what is divine masculine experiencing within this connection at this time? Let's bring it down a little bit. What is divine masculine experiencing within this connection at this time? That's really nice. I like that. Okay. What is divine masculine experiencing? Sorry, everybody. My, what happened? I ran out of space on my computer. So, had to do some finagling. Okay, so let's talk about the Divine Masculine first. What I love about this, what I heard was balancing out the polarities. What I love about this card is you see how he's juggling 2 pentacles, but one is higher than the other, and this one has this kind of like energetic stream on it. This feels like the feminine energy. And this feels like the masculine. Not only is it lower, which the masculine energy really resides in the lower chakras, in the physical world, material world. It's very grounded energy, and I like that. It's the earth here that he's sitting on a wall, very earthy energy for the Divine Masculine. He's balancing out the polarities within himself, which is leading to this Queen of Wands, which is leading to the Lovers. And this lover, or this Queen of Wands, is this energy. It feels very masculine. The Wands feels very masculine. It feels like fire. It feels like action. It feels like passion. It feels like leadership. But what I like about the Queen being here instead of the King is that that is the balance of the feminine energy within the masculine. So Divine Masculine is wanting to take the lead, wanting to take action, wanting to just go for things now, allowing himself to go with the flow, not controlling the outcomes, but taking divine action, listening to his own intuition, which is the feminine polarity, which is the feminine energy, and learning how to really balance it out and do this beautiful dance with the feminine. Now, this is like, you see how it's the feminine and the masculine dancing together? What's beautiful about this is in partnership with the feminine energy within the masculine and the feminine embodiment. Coming into that harmony, coming into this beautiful just dance. That's what this just feels like. Just this beautiful harmonious dance. Each other knowing each other's steps, knowing each other, understanding each other now, on the same page now. That's the harmony that's coming in here, because Divine Masculine is balancing the energies within himself. I'm hearing he's going to be taking the lead in the dance with the Divine Feminine now, as far as the relationship, as far as the connection. Allowing himself to be open to this love, and allowing himself to lead this love. Now, again, he had to remove all of that control, all of that ego, controlling the outcome, even controlling the feminine in many ways, because he was trying to suppress and control the feminine within himself, because he had been controlled and suppressed by the feminine energy, possibly even within his life or in past lifetimes. But the more the feminine energy within the masculine heals, the more the divine feminine energy rises. And the more the divine feminine energy within the masculine rises, the more he recognizes his divine feminine counterpart. And the more they come towards each other, and the more they embark on this beautiful, beautiful dance together. Okay. I'm going to get this deck. What is going on with the Divine Feminine and this connection? What's going on with the Divine Feminine in this connection, please, Spirit? We have the Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck, and I feel like that's what this energy is. I'm not going to take the Two of Cups because I feel like that's what the Two of Embers actually is. Okay, so the Eight of Birds, what I'm actually hearing is liftoff. This feels like the closing of a cycle. It actually feels like a Ten of Swords energy. What this feels like is there might have been this purging, this storm kind of energy. It wasn't a dark night, but it was a very stormy energy. It felt very tumultuous. That's part of this loss energy that Divine Feminine has been feeling. The release, the purging, etc. But coming from that, it's almost like this is the universe coming in and lifting the Divine Feminine up to take flight. It's like liftoff. getting ready to move forward into her creations, into her manifestations. That's this whole energy here. The Two of Embers, Two of Fire, Three of Fire, and the Composer card, which is a special card in this deck. I feel like she's really learning how to be in this place of divine creation, in this place. Oh yeah, look, liftoff. You see how these two cards create, it's like this whole deck creates a tableau. It's a really beautiful deck. And then she's kind of like lifting off. That's what this feels like. Into her creations, into her manifestations, into her co-creations with the Divine Masculine. And it's beautiful because this is really paired. It's like she's helping to manifest and bring down that template of higher love. And the Divine Masculine is taking the lead for them to do the dance together. They're both creating this. They're both creating this, but from different angles. And we have to understand about Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine embodiments. You both want the same thing. You're both creating. You both have the same values. You both have the same insights. You both have the same wisdom, but you approach it from different processes. You approach it from different angles. It really is that men are from Mars, women are from Venus energy. Only remove the gender and say masculine energy, feminine energy. That's what it is. It's the same, but just from different approaches, different processes, different angles. So you're both creating this, you're both composing this, but what's beautiful about this is Divine Feminine is really bringing down this template of higher love through her crown, through her intuition, and the Divine Masculine is the one that is taking the lead as far as the physicality of it. The relationship, the partnership, the physical partnership, the communication, the commitment, what it looks like, how you embody that love in your everyday human experience. The Divine Masculine is the one who is really grounding that energy and learning how to take the lead, learning how to take action. It's because the feminine energy within the masculine is rising, recognizing the feminine embodiment, wanting to come together, but doing it from the masculine perspective, doing it from the masculine energy. And so Divine Feminine is really the one who is bringing that energy down, or bringing that template down. And remember, you're all working as one, especially in the higher realms. You're working as one, but in the physical, Divine Masculine is learning how to take the lead. Wow. Okay. What is this new moon bringing in? What is this new moon shifting for both counterparts? It's the new moon in Aries. It's a powerful new moon. It's not a super moon or anything, I don't believe, but it's a powerful moon because it's the new moon in Aries, which is the beginning. It's the first sign in the zodiac. It is the beginning. And that's what it feels like. It feels like we are moving into a higher timeline. We are moving into a new beginning of partnership, of our own lives, of our lives together with our partners. This is the transition that we have been channeling. This is that rebirth energy. All right, what's shifting for the Divine Masculine? What's shifting for the Divine Masculine? Communication is key. Yeah, see, they are really learning how to take the lead, open up their heart, which opens up their throat chakra, which opens up to communication. So really learning how to communicate, be vulnerable, be intimate. And intimacy is emotional intimacy, is physical intimacy. Physical intimacy is communication as well, showing, taking action. So everything is communication. It's not just words, but they're learning how to speak their truth, how to be their truth, and how to communicate that to the Divine Feminine. What's shifting for the Divine Feminine? The end of a tough cycle approaches. Release, release. That's exactly what's happening. Really allowing that release. Really allowing that letting go. Allowing the old cycle to end. Divine Feminine, it's been difficult for Divine Feminine because she's been very conscious of this journey from the beginning. So it's harder for Divine Feminine to kind of let go of the past, to let go of the old versions of what she's felt, of what she's seen, because she has experienced so much. Not to say Divine Masculine hasn't, but she's experienced so much with Divine Masculine from a much more conscious place. And so she's learning how to let go of the old version of the relationship, the old version of the partnership, the old energy within the connection, even the old version of her Divine Masculine, especially the old version of herself. She's really learning how to let go of that. That's the end of the cycle for Divine Feminine. So major shift. And what I'm getting is it's twofold, because remember, you're working together. as communication is coming in from divine masculine, he is assisting her and helping to release the past. So as he shows himself more, as he's more vulnerable and intimate in all these myriad of ways, it's actually helping to assist divine feminine to release that old cycle, to release that old version. I'm also hearing, and this was a real epiphany for me, she's no longer abandoning herself. She's embracing the masculine energy within her, which is helping her embrace the masculine embodiment of her divine counterpart. So the more she no longer abandons herself, the more she no longer rejects herself, the more in any way, the more she no longer pushes herself away or the masculine energy within herself away, the more she just honors herself and loves herself, the more masculine is reciprocating that. So it's look at all these readings as, the masculine and feminine energy within you, because that's then going to be reflected within your connection, because you guys are one, because you are working together on this journey in this partnership. And divine masculine is communicating more likewise, because divine feminine is not pushing that away, is not rejecting that within herself. She's standing up for herself. She's having healthy boundaries. She's communicating her needs, which is allowing divine masculine to see that reflected in the divine feminine and say, oh, I'm going to allow myself to communicate more. I'm going to allow myself to trust that communication more. So it's really a beautiful reflection. You guys really are divine mirrors of each other. So always look at your connection as that divine mirror, and not as the mirror of blame, but at the mirror of divinity. What is my counterpart trying to show me? What are they trying to show me that I still have hidden within myself? What have I been projecting? What am I still holding on to? What are my gifts? What are my blessings? In all respects, it's not just the negative or the polarity. It's all respects that you are divine mirrors. So the love within yourself that you have that with your divine counterpart as well. And vice versa, the love that you have for your divine counterpart, you have that within yourself as well. That is the wholeness. That is the oneness. Okay. How is divine masculine feeling towards divine feminine? How is divine masculine feeling towards divine feminine? Yeah. We have worth waiting for and new love. What's interesting is I just noticed worth waiting for was kind of in the reverse there. And I feel like they're saying it's the new me. It's the new me. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the new me so that I would feel worthy of my divine feminine. So that she would recognize that I'm worthy of her. That's what I was waiting for. This new love feels like a new version of divine masculine, so new version of your partnership, new version of your relationship. And with the card being in the reverse, it feels like I'm not waiting anymore. This is all that action energy that's been coming through. And even with this allowing and flow, it's not sitting back and waiting any longer. This is divine masculine being in the divine conscious energy of taking divine action. It's divinely inspired action. So trusting his intuition, allowing himself to just go with the flow of where he's being led, and taking action from that heart space. That's what this feels like. It feels like I'm not waiting anymore. It's here. It's time. And so this new love is just, I've gone through this transformation. I'm ready to open my heart. I'm ready for that expansion. I'm ready for that transformation. My heart has been activated. I see you, divine feminine. I'm in love with you, divine feminine. I'm ready for you, divine feminine. Wow. Okay. Divine feminine, your guidance right now is to just allow. Go with the flow. Trust your intuition as well. Take action as you're guided to. You can feel this anticipation. You can feel this energy, but don't force anything. Don't get caught up in the attachment again. Don't get caught up in the focus. Keep focus on your life. Keep focus on your journey. Keep focus on your growth. Keep that focus. Be in the present moment. Don't force anything. Don't anticipate anything. Don't expect anything. Just keep going with the flow. Keep being in that present point of power. Okay. How's divine feminine feeling towards her divine masculine at this time? Yeah, I'm not going to take it, but we have let go of control issues. Let go of the control. Confirmation there. Okay, how's Divine Feminine feeling? I feel like Spirit's smiling at that one. Yep, we gave you that confirmation. All right, how's Divine Feminine feeling about Divine Masculine at this time? Oh my gosh, there's so many. How's Divine Feminine feeling towards Divine Masculine? Religious factors, which is my Awakening Ascension card. New level. You're reaching a new level. And chemistry, yeah. You're reaching a new level where you're recognizing that this is coming together. And you see how he has his arm around her, and you see the energy that is just brewing between the two? That is the power, the magnetism, the magnitude, not magnetism, magnitude of your love for each other. It is just massive. It is energy. The energy, the power that you guys... It's not power in like a negative sense either. It's power as in love. This is divine power. This is divine love. This is creation energy. That's this chemistry. You're ascending. You're recognizing your counterpart's ascension. You're recognizing your counterpart's transformation. And both of you are ascending to this new level of your partnership, to this new level of relationship, to this new level of your love. Beautiful. Okay, you guys, I'm going to end. Yeah, I think I'm going to end. What time is it? Yeah. I'm going to end with messages to each other. And we'll be back next week with another Sacred Union Energy update. Make sure that you're checking out Instagram and Facebook for guidance, especially on Instagram. I post daily guidance reels with music, as well as the daily energy draws. So if you're needing any guidance on your ascension journey with any of this, make sure that you're checking those out and taking what resonates for you. I am also open to bookings. So if you'd like a personal reading with me, all the information is available on my newly updated website. So make sure that you're checking that out as well. Okay. What does Divine Masculine want to say to Divine Feminine? What does Divine Masculine want to say to Divine Feminine? Anything else? Anything else? Okay. I want you in my arms again. You're my greatest adventure. I never expected it to be you. Oh my gosh, this just has this overall energy of love. This has this overall energy of ascension. This has this overall energy of consciously understanding this connection now. I never expected it to be you. I'm glad it is what I'm hearing. I'm glad it is. This ascension journey has been a roller coaster. It's been the greatest adventure and whirlwind of my life, is what Divine Masculine is saying. And he wants to do this with you now. He wants you in partnership. He wants to be... because he recognizes this connection. He wants you to be doing this together now. Wow. Divine Feminine, how are you feeling towards Divine Masculine? I dream of kissing you. Oh, there's a lot of sexual chemistry here. A lot of fire energy. Please love me as I am. And one more. Oh, we got two more. I'm not ready for us yet. I don't feel worthy of you. I'm not feeling those cards at all. Let me get a clarifying card. Every road leads back to you. So, Divine Feminine, I feel like you have been recognizing this energy within your Divine Masculine. This doesn't feel like feminine energy. This feels like more like the masculine, where they hadn't been ready, that they weren't feeling worthy, but recognizing that they were always coming home to you because you were home to each other. And so you too, Divine Feminine, have been through your own transformation where you weren't feeling worthy, where you weren't ready for this connection, but you're coming home to your Divine Masculine too. Beautiful. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for today's Sacred Union Energy Update. I'm sending you so much love, so much light, and we'll see you next time.